Yeah. Sometimes, 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 sometimes this is easy, sometimes this is hard. Sometimes I kill my darlings and they dearly depart. Sometimes I'm not perfect, sometimes I am. Well, not really, but it sounds so damn good on the beat, yeah, nice on the track. Sometimes I pop tapes in the deck. Sometimes I'm better off lonely, sometimes I'm missing my girl. Sometimes I'm like, what in heaven's name is wrong with the world? Sometimes I see an ex and be like, damn, she's ugly. Sometimes I see the same girl and how come she don't want me? Sometimes I just am of emotions a conveyor. Every time before a show I always try to say my prayers. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, sometimes I'm like, nah. Sometimes I just zone out and listen to Ra. Sometimes I guess I'm always the same. Sometimes times always is the sum of my brain. Sometimes it's just this, sometimes it's just that. There's always gonna be something that makes it imperfect. Sometimes it's just such, sometimes it's just so. I'm always like, just do you and run your show. Sometimes, 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 sometimes time's in my way, sometimes it ain't. Sometimes some fans is mad cool, sometimes they faint. Sometimes I got the energy like I'm new to this. Sometimes I'm like, why the am I still doing this? Sometimes I'm like, don't touch me. Sometimes I'm lovey-dovey. Sometimes I like my haze dry and sometimes fluffy. Always big and up high and is when I flow. Sometimes I rhyme fast, sometimes I rhyme slow. Sometimes it's just tricky, sometimes it's just not. Sometimes I play Biggie, sometimes it's just Pac. Sometimes I create it, sometimes I fake it. Nah, never, not me, no way, kid. Sometimes I'm not looking, sometimes a seeker. Sometimes I rock my Patapara AM1 sneaker. Sometimes I rock flip-flops without or with socks. Sometimes I play reggae, sometimes strictly hip-hop. Sometimes I'm out here, sometimes the UK, sometimes Jamaica, sometimes the USA. Sometimes I write hit songs, sometimes I hit bongs. Busy forever, but it just never feels like it's long. Sometimes it's just this, sometimes it's just that. There's always gonna be something that makes it imperfect. Sometimes it's just such, sometimes it's just so. I'm always like, just do you and run your show. Sometimes it's just this, sometimes it's just that. There's always gonna be someone that makes it imperfect. Sometimes it's just such, sometimes